Hi, and welcome to the third installment of Issues and Impacts. Seattle-King County Realtors is working throughout the region to encourage cities to adopt flexible and bold comprehensive plan policies to not just accommodate, but encourage ADUs and middle housing in their cities in compliance with House Bills 1110 and 1337. We are encouraging policymakers to view increased housing supply through zoning density as the first and best strategy to make housing affordable, underscoring that until we better balance supply and demand, affordability will remain unachievable. ADUs and missing middle housing types like duplexes and triplexes can add greatly needed housing supply while maintaining the look and feel of the neighborhood. Recognizing that middle housing must deliver solutions for young families seeking to begin building home equity, SKCR is encouraging larger family-sized units. For middle housing to be successful, it will need to be buildable. The regulatory environment will need to be understandable, predictable, and timely. The cities of Duval, Lake Forest Park, and Bellevue are in the process of revising their sign codes. SKCR continues to guard against any changes that would constrain the use of on-premises for sale signs and off-premises open house A-boards. Sign code updates are complicated and technical due to the many types of signs, both commercial and private, that are posted within a city. While policymakers tend to favor real estate signage, our signs can get caught up in efforts to reduce the overall impact of signage within a city. For these reasons, we remain vigilant and engaged in what can be a long process. Please contact us for more information and/or to get involved. The City of Woodinville is exploring whether to add a set of tenant protections similar to those in Kenmore, Redmond, and Shoreline. Action is expected by the end of the year. SKCR's goal is to seek a balanced approach to landlord-tenant regulation that does not unduly burden landlords who own a small number of units, many of whom are our members and/or for whom our members work. SKCR is urging restraint and cautioning that added regulations will create disincentives to operating rental property and lead to increased rents. Recent changes in state law require revisions to the rules for on-site septic systems in King County. Seattle-King County Realtors is engaging with success in a multifaceted advocacy effort to ensure that the changes will be positive for real estate, including balancing restrictive septic system rules with the need to increase the supply of housing, making septic inspection reports, which are required for the closing of a transaction, valid for 1 year instead of just 6 months, reducing the minimum distance between drain field pipes to accommodate smaller septic systems and help with construction of ADUs, and allowing property owners to make minor repairs without the need to obtain a permit. The changes will be adopted before the end of the year. All 39 cities in King County are continuing their work to meet legislature's December 31st deadline to update their 20-year comprehensive plans, including new requirements to accommodate middle housing and more ADUs. In addition, cities must meet a June 30th, 2025 deadline to update their development and permitting codes that will implement the comprehensive plans. At Seattle-King County Realtors, our continuing advocacy efforts are focused on ensuring those changes will result in more housing inventory as soon as possible, and we are making progress. For example, Kent's goals, supported by a list of specific action items, include removing governmental constraints and implementing strategies to overcome barriers to housing production and affordability. Federal Ways goals, including balancing the protection of environmentally critical areas with the rights of property owners, and ensuring new regulations do not unreasonably hinder private property rights. Maple Valley's changes will not only help economically vulnerable households, but also include an impressive list of changes to accommodate middle housing and more homeownership. In Burien, the threshold for homeownership incentives is being expanded to include households at 80% of area median income. Normandy Park, which is largely built out and has many homes on septic, is focusing on changes that will accommodate ADUs to meet the city's housing targets. In addition to cities, King County is also updating its comprehensive plan. Seattle-King County Realtors continues to be vigilant in protecting the rights of sellers to rent back for up to 60 days following closing. In 2023, realtors won an important legislative victory. Short-term seller rentback agreements are exempt from landlord-tenant law. However, a trial court eviscerated the exemption in federal way after city voters approved renter protections that are stronger than state law. As a result, earlier this year, when Tukwila was considering new tenant protections, Seattle-King County Realtors weighed in. We encouraged Tukwila to avoid the mistakes made in federal way, and our advice was well received. Now we have more good news. The Washington Court of Appeals has ruled that tenant eviction protections in Auburn's city code are invalid because they limit rights granted to landlords by state law. We will continue to work to protect realtor victories at the legislature and keep you updated on any new developments. Realtors know strong schools and public safety are two of the most important factors homebuyers consider when looking for a home. That's why our Government Affairs Committee met with education advocates and officials and took a close look at school funding measures on the ballot. We endorsed funding proposals from the Lake Washington, Issaquah, and Kent school districts and encouraged voters to approve those measures. Regarding public safety, we are also keeping a close eye on numerous lawsuits involving the anti-camping ordinances being adopted by cities and have already begun working with Chamber of Commerce legislative coalitions in King County to identify ways to improve outcomes of behavioral health programs and new metrics for implementing compassionate accountability to address the dramatic increases in serious juvenile crimes. Our primary focus remains fixed on housing supply and affordability, because that's where realtors can provide unique expertise. Even so, quality schools and public safety affect quality of life in the neighborhoods our brokers sell, so we welcome the opportunity to collaborate with others on those important issues. SKCR will initiate a consumer campaign to address challenges created by homeowner insurance companies that are refusing to write policies for homeowners needing to renew their coverage, buyers purchasing a property, and properties no longer insured because policies expired or were canceled. When insurance companies began pulling out of markets due to wildfire losses, realtors in Kittitas County sought help from SKCR. Our association brought together policy and insurance experts at NAR and Washington Realtors. We obtained consumer outreach grant funding that will be used for a professional multimedia campaign to educate the public and mobilize affected property owners in Kittitas County. As always, a special thanks to our advocacy team here at Seattle-King County Realtors, Taylor Shanneman, our Government Affairs Director, and our housing specialists, Randy Banneker and Sam Pace.